Good morning, classes. I say classes because I will be making this video for numerous classes regarding your syllabus, whether or not you're in my English 0810 class, my English 1010 classes, or my English 1020 classes. The material on your syllabus is going to be pretty much universal in regard to instructor policies and procedures. However, wherever the syllabus is a little bit different, I'll be sure to make note of that in this video. First of all, the very first difference that you'll see, I don't know if you can see this, but you will see that your class and the section of your class and the times that your class meets is at the top of your syllabus. Now, if you're in English 1010, that's going to be different than 1020, right? And if you're in 0810, it's going to be different as well. So use common sense and know that even though I may be showing an English 1020 section 118 syllabus, this may not be your class, so your information will be a little bit different. Okay, first of all, you will see instructor information at the top of this syllabus. This is how to contact me. This is how to email me. This is my office telephone number. However, my situation is a little unusual spring 2020 semester because while my office is at the Union campus downtown, I'm teaching classes only at the Macon campus and the Somerville campus. So I don't have an office at either one of those campuses. I have no office at the Macon campus and I have no office at the Somerville campus. So if you need to schedule a meeting with me, the best way to do that, since I have no location for office hours, is to send me an email and we will find us a little place on the Macon campus or we'll find us a little place on the Somerville campus and hold a meeting with you anytime that you need to meet with me. So office hours are a little, they're there and I'll be somewhere on campus, but because I don't have an office, I don't know where that will be. Okay, also below my contact information is how to contact the Department of Languages and Literature. You will see the interim department chair's contact information there, as well as the English coordinator and our secretary. Below that, you'll see when your course meets, which will, of course, be different according to which classes of mine that you're in. Then you will see course description, which varies. It's going to vary from syllabus to syllabus, whether you're a 1010 student, a 1020 student, or an 0810 student. Below that, you see entrance skills, also different for each section and each class. And then you will see the learning outcomes. I ask that you please read this on your own because this video will be way too long if I try to go over that with you during this video. Okay? So turning to page 1, you will see required texts are either going to be, depending on what class you're in, it's going to be on page 1 or it's going to be on page 2. Now, the very required text is, of course, going to be your textbook. You also have a handbook, which is the little brown handbook that is typically used in all English classes. It's a wonderful resource. A lot of professors don't necessarily like to require it because it's a rather expensive book, and there are resources such as Purdue OWL that can give you some of the same information. So I will leave that to your discretion. If it's too costly for you, you can always use Purdue OWL to look up some of the things you need to look up, like how to cite properly, MLA format, or you have the option of checking that book out in the library and using it there when you need it, or you can also get another edition that may be a little bit less expensive. Okay, something else that will vary on your syllabi, depending on which class of mine that you're in, are the methods of evaluation. And this is a very important part of your syllabus. So I'm going to go over just a couple classes and the weighted grading system that I use in each one of those classes. For example, I am holding a English 1020 syllabus. So if you are my 1020 student, you are going to see that your grade is made up in this way. Classwork and quizzes count as 20% of your grade, right there on the syllabus. Essays and the one presentation that you'll give counts as 40% of your grade. Your research paper, due at the end of the semester, counts as 20%. Your final exam counts as 10%, and persistence and engagement, which is you showing up to class and participating, also counts as 10%. Guys, don't take those 10% categories lightly because that can quickly make an A be a B if you have not performed well in that category, or a C be a D. Underneath methods of evaluation, oh, wait, let's go back. We'll do 10-10 as well. So the weights, if you are an English 10-10 student, are just a little different than 10-20. You have 4 major essays right here under method of evaluation on page 2 of your 10-10 syllabus. You will see that 4 major essays count as 40% of your grade. Classwork and quizzes count as 20%. Essay 5, which is your final, that's your final exam, counts as 20% of your grade. Writer's workshops, which I take very seriously, count as 10% of your grade. Persistence and engagement, which once again, the same as in 10-20. If you show up and you participate in class, you're going to make an A in that, and that counts as 10% of your grade. You will see the grading scale underneath methods of evaluation, and you guys can see what constitutes an A, what constitutes a B, C, D, and so on. Underneath that, it discusses what your major assignments in this class would be. You have an ADA statement. Now, this is very important to students who need accommodations in my classes. If you are a student who needs accommodations, you will go through the Student Disabilities Office. When you do that, you will receive paperwork explaining to me what those accommodations are. We will both sign those papers because it will be an agreement between me and you that I will honor those accommodations in my classroom for you. Once I sign the paperwork and you sign the paperwork, you take that paperwork back to the Students with Disabilities Office and it is filed on your behalf. Underneath that, you have a misuse of computer statement. I will let you read that on your own. But now we're getting to something that is very important. Can you see this right here? I hope that comes out. We are now in the plagiarism section of your syllabus, on all of my syllabus and every syllabus in Southwest, regardless of the class. Okay, here are 3 things I want to tell you about plagiarism. Pay attention to these 3 things. I'm going to let you read the plagiarism policy on your own, but I'm going to tell you the 3 things that I need you to remember. Number 1, just don't do it. You will get caught, because everything you turn into me is run through a plagiarism checker and you will get caught. Don't think you can gamble and think you won't get caught. If you plagiarize, you will get caught. So number 1, just don't do it. Number 2, it is a breach of trust between you and me. Number 3, Southwest takes plagiarism very seriously. The first time that you plagiarize in my class will get you a 0 on that assignment, which will affect your grade. But if it happens again, you are subject to be expelled from Southwest per Southwest guidelines. Underneath that, you have attendance and punctuality. You can see that if your class meets 3 times a week and you have 6 absences, that's considered excessive. If your class meets 2 times a week, 4 absences is considered excessive. If your class meets only 1 time a week and you've missed 2 of those meetings, you've missed 2 weeks of instruction. So that is considered excessive. I will read the persistence and engagement section underneath attendance and punctuality. This is to let you know that your persistence and engagement grade will reflect excessive absences, late arrivals, reading right off the syllabus, and early departures, as well as any inappropriate behavior during class. Cell phone use. This grade is subjective, meaning what I see in class, and non-debatable. It is an assessment of your persistence and engagement that is entirely up to the discretion of your professor, who is me. This class will have lecture, we'll have group activities. We're going to do a lot of fun stuff this semester that needs you to your participation. So you will see bolded and underlined when you come in, you guys. Sometimes when class is starting, I'm taking roll, the sign-in sheet's going around, we're passing around our little name tabs, and we have some busy things going on before we get really started in class. I don't mind if you have your cell phone out and you're finishing your text, or you're playing Words with Friends or Solitaire and you're finishing that up. I don't care. But when class starts, bolded and underlined. Please silence and put away your cell phone at the start of class. That means when we get going. Underneath that is just letting you know that I do take attendance daily. Southwest requires attendance reporting, so your attendance is reported whether you're absent, present, late. It is reported to Southwest the day of class, that day, electronically. It goes to Southwest. I have a policy there on makeup work, but here's all I need to tell you. Guys, your communication, number one, your butt in a chair in class goes a long way with the professor. Also, if you know that you need extra time on an assignment, the time to ask me about that is not after the deadline of the assignment is passed. The time to talk to me about that would be before that assignment is due. In other words, if you come to me a day after the assignment, the Dropbox is closed and the assignment was due, your chances of being allowed to make up that work are going to lessen. If you come to me beforehand and say, Miss Mart, I have this due, and this due in another class. Is there any way that I can get a little bit of an extension on this assignment that's due tomorrow? The answer is probably going to be yes, especially if you've been to class doing what you're supposed to do. However, if you've missed an assignment before, you've asked for an extension for assignment before, I take it on a case-by-case situation, okay? According to what you're doing in class, how responsible you've been in getting your work in on class, how many times you've asked me for an extension, and whether or not you typically ask me for an extension on an assignment before or after the assignment's due. Communication and the timeliness of it, very important. Okay, information regarding the drop process. Guys, if you're struggling in any of your classes by the time March rolls around, I need to tell you that you have until March the 29th, 2020 to withdraw from any class that you're not performing well in or you think you're going to get an F in. If you stop attending classes, but you do not officially withdraw from that class, you will receive an F in that course, and that may affect your financial aid. You don't want that. So if March 29th rolls around and you've missed 8, 9 classes in any class, not just my class, and it's looking like you're going to get an F, please withdraw from that class. Okay, now I'm going to wrap up this video because I wanted it to be under 15 minutes. I'm getting to the most important part of the video, which is your course schedule. Of course, your course schedule is going to look different if you're my 1020 student or my 1010 student. But guys, that is your English Bible in my class. That tells you every single assignment that's due, when it's due, all the deadlines, all for your benefit. You have that schedule available to you in a hard copy that I had every single student print out in my presence in my classroom and have it in your hand. So you have that information, that whole course schedule for the entire semester printed out for you. It has in your hand. It's also in pause for you in 2 different places. So that's 3 different places you can find this schedule. So if you find yourself wanting to email a classmate or your professor to ask when your assignments are due, or hey, Miss Smart, do we have anything due this week? I'm going to say, see your course schedule. And I hope that your friend says, see your course schedule. Okay, this takes a long time to lay out due dates for everything we're doing in the semester. So please use it because I did this for your benefit. Okay, that's pretty much all I have to tell you about your syllabus. If you have any questions, please email me. There will be a quiz on this video about your syllabus. Now, that's for your benefit, because if you take an extra quiz on your syllabus, it's going to be an easy A for you. And it will also allow me, if I have more than 10 quizzes, it will allow me to give you a drop grade. So your lowest grade in the quizzes will be dropped. And this is not an option to take the syllabus quiz. This is a requirement. But if you miss the easy quiz on the syllabus, then that is your drop grade, because this is a required quiz. So I will be posting that quiz. I will be sending you an email about the quiz and also give you the due date. All right. Thanks, guys.